So I just spent slightly over $20,000 in ads, splitting half and half. Half on Facebook, half on YouTube, promoting the same product, same funnel, and which one do you think is more effective? And if you watch towards the end of this video, you're gonna see why the answer is actually gonna really surprise you. Now, hey, this is Peng Joon here, and by the end of this video, you're gonna discover some of the things that most people will never know when it comes to Facebook ads versus YouTube ads. And in this case study, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes to an actual campaign, the actual numbers, promoting, utilizing the same ad, but on different platforms, promoting the same product, so that you can discover for yourself on which one is going to be more suitable for you, your business, regardless of whatever niche you might be in. And by the end of this video, you're gonna have full clarity on which platform is going to be a much better fit for you. So the next 5, 10, 15 minutes is probably gonna be worth your time, because it's gonna save you potentially thousands, if not tens and thousands of dollars of mistakes. So here's what we did. We took this particular sales process, which was a free plus shipping funnel, promoting this book, Content Multiplier Formula. And in order to promote this book, what we did was this same funnel was split into the same ad, but on 2 different platforms. And we spent and tracked about $10,000 on the same video on Facebook, same video on YouTube, promoting this specific funnel. Now, one of the things that we are going to be exploring in this video is which one won in terms of ease of getting started, which one won in terms of less competition, in terms of evergreen, in terms of ease of creating the ad, in terms of getting it approved, in terms of scaling, in terms of all these different criteria, different type of funnels. And you will see why when you understand these different details, you'll have better clarity and understanding which platform is going to be better for you. Before we even begin, we have to first understand how much is the average lifetime value of a customer, which is a question you gotta know before you even run ads, which is basically how much is an average customer worth to you. Now, I know that on the front end, whenever somebody gets my book, my product for this specific funnel, I know that the average lifetime value of a customer goes through this funnel after we send them through the upsells, through the services, the fact that they might engage us and work with us in future. I know that the lifetime value is about $450. Now, I know that on the front end, whenever somebody goes through my funnel, because of the sales process, I know that on the front end, a customer is worth about $89 to me. Now, because I understand these numbers, I then know what is the maximum I can pay to acquire a customer. That means that before we even begin to show you the numbers that we found, these are numbers you gotta know, which is basically, number one is how much is an average customer worth to you? Because when you know that number, then that is when you can track how much you are willing to pay to acquire a customer. So I know that if on the front end, a customer is worth $89, and over time, lifetime value is worth about $450, depending on how aggressive I want to be, I can pay up to $89 to break even on the front end. But if I were to take into account over a lifetime, I can pay up to $200 and still get a 2-to-1 return acquiring customer at $200. That is when you'll be able to utilize it on these different platforms. So let's begin by showing you what we did on Facebook. Now on Facebook, here's how we started off. You will see that on this particular campaign, we spent about $16,000 on 3 different videos. Now, to avoid ad fatigue, what we did was we had 3 different ads. Okay, the 3 different ads, we had 3 versions. So version 1, version 2, version 3. You will see that for these 3 ads, you can see there's only 3 ad variations, right? This is the first variation, variation number 1, variation number 2, and variation number 3. And for these 3 different ads, what we did was the most important number of them all, after spending $16,000 on these 3 ads, the cost per result is $41 to get a buyer. At first glance, it might seem like $41 to get a buyer for a book is a bad deal. Now, however, because I know my numbers, I know that on average, when a person goes through my funnel, because of the upsells, because of the recurring, because of my back end, because of the fact that the relationship doesn't just end there, we continue to nurture the lead, the buyer. Because think about it this way, which do you think is easier to sell to? Do you think it's easier to sell to a brand new customer or to an existing customer? Right, 100% existing. So because we know that once we acquire this buyer, we know that eventually there's going to be a small percentage of people that will want to work with us, either with our agency, with our high ticket, with our service. So I know that on average, the lifetime value, because it's $450, I know that $41 to get a buyer is a great deal. Now, if we were to go to YouTube, okay, now going to YouTube in a second, you will see that if I went to YouTube, these 3 different ads, we split it across different countries, but you will see that we spent about $11,000, okay? By spending about $11,000, we got 51 conversions, and the cost per conversion is about $217. Now, before you conclude that, oh, that means Facebook is way better because I am acquiring customers 4 times less. Again, on Facebook, I'm getting a customer for $46, but on YouTube, it's $217. Now, this is not good enough to conclude anything just yet. And if you watch till the end of the video, you'll see why that's the case in a second. Okay, so at first glance, it looks like, oh, so Facebook means it's the absolute winner. We're not there yet. And the answer is no. And the reason for that is, even though for this particular funnel, okay, after spending $11,000 and getting 51 conversions and paying $217 to acquire a customer, we need to take into account the other factors, which you'll see in a second, right? And you'll see why, in fact, there's some scenarios where YouTube is way better than Facebook. And that brings us to this comparison chart. You see, on this comparison chart, you're gonna see why there's actually pros and cons for these 2 different platforms. So even though right now, so far, it looks like Facebook's the winner, let's think about these different other factors to really determine which one's better for you. Because in a moment, you're also gonna see why there's some scenarios YouTube is actually crushing Facebook. So let's talk about ease of getting started. You see, when it comes to ease of getting started, who's the winner? The winner is for sure Facebook. Why is that the case? Because on Facebook, all you need to do is get started is think about your audience interest. Who are the kind of people that might be interested in what it is that you have to say and offer, and you can run an ad within literally 10 minutes when you're up and running. So if you're an absolute beginner, getting started on Facebook is going to be way easier. Now, at the same time, let's take a look at competition next. You see, even though right now it looks like YouTube is 4 times more expensive, in terms of competition, you will see why in a second, why there's going to be a lot less competition on YouTube, which gives YouTube an advantage. Now, if you think about all of the other people in your market, in your niche, in your industry, the low-hanging fruit that marketers usually utilize is Facebook. Whenever they want to get more leads, more visibility, more reach, they begin with Facebook. So that means the attention is usually on Facebook, and that means that if you understand YouTube, there's going to be less competition, but it is harder to get started. However, in terms of evergreen, which one do you think is more set and forget? That you can actually create something once and have it running again and again and again. What do you think that is? 100% it's going to be YouTube. Here's why. It is because we need to understand how would a Facebook ad appear and how would a YouTube ad normally appear. Just think about that for a second. You see, for a Facebook ad, it's based upon pattern interrupt. Now, what is pattern interrupt? It means that somebody's scrolling on Facebook, they're scrolling, and then bam, your ad, based on their interest, based on the video that they're watching, interrupts their attention, and they stop because of your image, because of your thumbnail, because of your opener, because of your hook. So Facebook's a pattern interrupt. And that video, that ad that you're running is based upon a specific audience or interest. it's a matter of time before that interest that you're targeting becomes saturated. Now, YouTube, on the other hand, why is it a lot more evergreen? Why is it more set and forget? Here's why. It is because when you are targeting a YouTube video where to run ads from, it could be based upon something that people are searching for. So let's say if I am selling a bonsai gardening plant or kit, I could potentially be targeting somebody that is searching for bonsai gardening techniques, right? And all those videos there, I am targeting them with my product. And because I'm doing that, the odds of it being saturated is much lower because YouTube is more of a search engine than a social media platform. That means that your ads is going to be a lot more evergreen. Why? It is because there's going to be different people searching for different things on YouTube. That's one of the many ways of how videos get visibility. So because of that, it's constantly new people that's going to be seeing your ads. Whereas on Facebook, because if it's based on interest, it's going to be based on the same people that's going to see your ad again and again. So it's not so evergreen. And in fact, it hits ad fatigue a whole lot faster. Okay, so you'll see that after spending a ton of money on both Facebook and YouTube ads, millions of dollars, there's a lot of ads that's on YouTube today that is still running because it's set and forget. Whereas Facebook, we're constantly coming up with new creatives, new images, new angles, new hooks in order to avoid that ad fatigue. In terms of ad creation, which one is going to be easier? Now for this portion, this is when Facebook is actually a whole lot easier. Now again, even though YouTube has got a lot of merit, and you'll see why towards the end of this video, there are a lot of different campaigns on YouTube that's crushing Facebook. For Facebook, ad creation can be really, really amateur looking. You could literally take your phone, selfie style, really ugly, and you could be moving around, and that would be good enough for a really effective Facebook ad. Whereas YouTube, on the other hand, it doesn't need to be Hollywood level production quality, but it needs to be better than a selfie mode type of ad. So in terms of ad creation, Facebook wins. Ad approval, which one do you think is easier? After spending and trying out different hooks, YouTube's definitely hands down the winner here. We have so many ads that is running on YouTube that somehow Facebook doesn't like. But YouTube, on the other hand, is a lot more lenient. And in terms of approval, YouTube definitely wins. In terms of scaling, when it comes to Facebook, you have to scale vertically, horizontally. You got to start looking at lookalike audiences, custom audiences, and all these different things. Whereas for YouTube, just like it being a lot more evergreen, scaling on YouTube, if you have a winner, is a whole lot easier because depending on what market you're in, I could literally target people that is interested in money. And if you have a huge business to consumer type of product, that will work for you on YouTube. So in terms of scaling, and it depends what market you're in, but scaling on YouTube, once you have a winner, is going to be a whole lot easier. Whereas on Facebook, in order to scale, you got to avoid ad fatigue. You got to start creating lookalike audiences, custom audiences, and there's a lot of different moving parts in order to scale on Facebook. So with that in mind, does that mean based on the numbers I shown you today, Facebook is the winner? Not at all, and you're gonna see why. It really depends on your sales process and your funnel type, which is basically the lesson, the main crucial piece over here. Depending on your funnel type will determine if Facebook or YouTube is better, okay? Now, why is that the case? Here's why. Based on the numbers I've shown you here today, yes, it takes about 4 times more to acquire a customer on Facebook. For my free plus shipping funnel on Facebook, what was the number? The number was approximately $46 to acquire a customer. So for my free plus shipping funnel, $46. Whereas on YouTube, how much did YouTube cost? Again, this is not theory. After spending 11 grand, it cost us $217, which is still profitable for us long run, okay, if you take into account lifetime value. And by the way, guys, if you like these type of videos, let me know in the comments. Be sure to smash the like button. I could be creating more videos just like this on different type of funnels to show you the results as well. But the reason why Facebook outperformed YouTube in this instance is only because of the type of sales process. Now, why is that the case? Here's why. We gotta understand context. You see, when somebody goes on Facebook, it's pattern interrupt. They're scrolling, and what stops the scroll is that initial hook. Well, for YouTube, people are searching for information, and chances are they want information right now. So if it's something like a free plus shipping for a book, on YouTube, they want that information right now. So if this was a digital product, YouTube would have converted a whole lot better. Whereas YouTube, what do they want? They want information right now. They're looking for information. They're hungry for information. That's why they're on YouTube. That's why they're doing the search. And that's why with the search results, how many of you noticed that it's very common that a YouTube video appears on Google, right? And that's how that YouTube video gets discovered, and that's how your ad that's on the video gets discovered. So what does that mean? It means that if you have a long form type of presentation, it means that if you have a webinar funnel, a YouTube ad would outconvert a Facebook ad. And I'll prove it to you. In future videos, I will show you that whenever we do webinar funnels, whenever we get people to register for a certain type of presentation, YouTube will actually crush Facebook. Why? Because that's why people are on that platform to begin with. So yes, for free plus shipping, Facebook is the winner, but for webinars, YouTube is the winner. So same thing for long form sales videos. I want you to start developing this muscle, start thinking rather than me just giving you the answer. So for long form sales video, which one do you think would be the winner? Why are they on YouTube? To look for answers. So if you have a long form sales video, something that's high ticket, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, YouTube, you will notice, will be the winner. Why? Because competition is lower. It's easier to scale. Yes, you got to put in a little bit more effort in creating a higher production type of video. But long form sales videos, that's high ticket, YouTube's gonna win. What if you are in the business of consulting or selling services where people got to get on a phone call to schedule some sort of strategy session or sales call? Here's what we discovered. This is when Facebook would actually win. And again, we'll do it in future videos to show you actual sales processes that proves this. But if you are someone that is providing high ticket, and that's something that we notice as well. We notice that YouTube buyers are a lot more serious. And we notice that even though it costs us more money to acquire a buyer on the front end for our free plus shipping funnels, we notice that this buyer tends to be a lot more serious, that tends to take us up on our higher ticket services on the back end. So yes, even though it costs more to acquire a customer on YouTube, we found that these people are usually more serious. Why? Again, because they're actually searching for the information rather than based upon a pattern interrupt based on their interest. And finally, if you are selling physical products, if you are into e-commerce, which one do you think is the winner? Do you think it's Facebook or YouTube? Well, because it's pattern interrupt. If you're selling some sort of widget based on interest, you're gonna realize that it actually gonna cost you less to acquire a customer on Facebook than on YouTube. So that's this initial finding. So what's the conclusion? The conclusion, is it Facebook or YouTube? The answer is it largely depends on the sales process that you adopt. In this example here, because it was free plus shipping, Facebook crushed YouTube. But in future videos, I'm going to be showing you why other type of sales processes YouTube is crushing Facebook. And as always, guys, let me know in the comments below, how does this actually help you, or if it even helped at all. And as always, be sure to click on the bell notification button if you like this video for future videos just like this one.